Hello everybody, welcome to Tour de Zwift with the Everyday Zwifter. Today we're doing stage 1, the standard ride, the B ride, around the Watopia Waistband route. It's about 28 kilometers long, including this little bit at the start. So called the waistband because it circumnavigates most of the flat route around the original Watopia world, also getting out to the volcano. Had about 900 signed up for the start today, 860 and growing on course at the moment. This Tour de Zwift does allow late joins, so you see a number of people just appearing as they join and joined into the ride. As for me, got to the start line at the front. Make a quick getaway, see if I can ride somewhere near the front, but of course with the 900 or so riders there's going to be a lot of A's and B's with higher outputs than what I can manage. So I've just got to cruise along and find a group that's about my pace and ride along and have some fun with them. As you can see on the mini-map, there's just a continuous stream of riders, and I don't even think the full 874 at the moment are represented by those dots. I think there's even more on there that aren't getting rendered in. And of course, as we saw in Neokio, the whole field isn't rendered on your screen either. You can only see up to 150 riders, I believe. If there was 800, it would probably crash your graphics card if you're running PC. Not sure how Apple TV would go. Might be alright. How awesome would it be though to turn around and see just a continuous stream of 700 riders behind you. It's a fairly long lead in, a couple of kilometres anyway, enough to put your starting effort in and wear yourself out. Just running through the Fugo Flat Sprint segment, 500 metres long. This is also where we finish. .500 metres is a little far to sprint unless you've got some long legs, and there's a little 1% gradient here. When you are tired, you really feel it. And here is the start finish. So things still not settling down, a lot of slow starters are flying through, and I'm just trying to sit around the high 2s, low 3 watt a kilo, around threshold power, and legs weren't really feeling happy about it today though, so it does fluctuate from time to time. Skip through the rest of the desert flats until we get through to this town towards the end of the desert. And as we move towards the first little incline of the section, which tends to separate the stronger from the weaker. There is double draft in these Tour de Zwift events, so I'm desperately trying to catch up to this little bunch in front of me and stay in their draft. If anything, Tour de Zwift is going to highlight group riding. Just put my featherweight out there just to catch up to this larger group again. You can see how the hill has compacted the group and everything's separated out. It looks like I'm near the front of the race on the mini-map, but I'm sure there's not 200 riders in front of me in this group. There might be, but we're not going to get up there to find out. I'm just trying to hang on to this group now, because we're not heading right through Titans Grove and the rollers. We're going to head left and slow descent down to the seaside. But no, it's proving too much. I have to let off the gas a little bit. As soon as you hit the downhill, very hard to close gaps. But we're in a draft, and that's all that matters. So a very long, gradual descent down here, but not steep enough to get into super tuck mode, so you've got to pedal all the way down, and the strong riders will really make it fast. I'm not feeling very strong at all, and I can't even keep up with this smaller group of riders. Put in a burst here because I realise what's happening. Next stage now is the long flat route through the undersea tunnels. Going to skip forward as we came out of them and headed up, picked up a few more people along the way. And now we hit a section of 1-2% gradient up again. It's a long, slow drag. You've got to be really steady on your power, or have a bit of reserve in you that you can put spurts on every now and then. And it's right on my limit today. I'm just trying to hang on to this group. Anytime you lift off a little bit because you're on a gradient, you just drop back. Skip forward to near the top of it. And it's just dropped off the back a bit, just trying to put a bit of extra power to get back on the downhill. Even a couple of red numbers for a second. But it's just going to tip my legs over the edge into over what they want to do. So I sit up here and decide, no, we'll take it easy. This little gravel section is, even though it's downhill, is a bit like going uphill because the rolling resistance is more. You can lose ground there as well. So now I've ridden from there along the beach across to the volcano. And this little uphill section is another section that really, if you're not on, people really whack the watts up as they go up here, and you can get dropped easily as that. Keeping my eye on the mini-map, I see, oh, well, here's a nice little group. Let's see if I can tack on with them, and come on legs, you can do it. Because there wasn't too many behind. Close. There's obviously 500 or so, but I would like to finish in the top 400, that'd be nice. So finished going around the volcano, cross the glass bridge, and then we're heading into downtown Watopia. No big what's going on here, so just happy to roll to the front. Bigger group that I'm in is able to pick up a smaller group of 3 or 4 in front, and that's the way it works, especially with this double draft mode. Hit the drafting boost just to stay in touch. But it doesn't, the double draft doesn't seem to be doing much, and still have to put out my 200 watts of just to keep up. Only 4.5 kilometers to go now. Take a left to follow the beach. Then take another left to head back out to the desert. Back out to those Fugo flats. And this here's another pinch point to, I think it might get up to 3% at one point, yep. And when you get to 24 kilometers and you've raced a hard race, this little gradient's a bit of a killer sometimes. I'm dragging my heels here. Put in a quick spurt, try and stay in the draft. My aerobic capacity in this ride was not working very well. Really trying to stay in touch with this front bunch. Couple drifting off the back. Here we go. Under 3Ks to go now. Starting to anticipate a sprint finish now. Maybe the adrenaline kicking in was helping. Skip ahead a couple of kilometers, more flat riding, 1.5 kilometers to go. Not really sure what the etiquette of these races are, whether you just meant to roll across with the group and not take, places off people, just respect everyone around you, or just treat it like a race and go as fast as you can. I mean, obviously if you want to set a time on the Fugo flats, you've got to sprint. Someone's heading off with the draft. That's not going to help them very much unless someone comes past. But now I decide, oh well, We'll just do a seated sprint, we won't go flat out. I was hoping my avatar wasn't going to stand up too much. No one else is really going. Just keep going. Keep going. I didn't see the gap behind me, then I saw some red numbers, so I thought, oh, we'll go flat out now. So that was a bit of an anticlimax with not many people sprinting out of that group. But that was, yeah, stage 1. Watopia Waistband, Tour de Zwift 2022. Very good ride if you don't like hills. Good way to get introduced to the Tour de Zwift, and good way to suck you in to do another race. Stay tuned for the hilly versions in the future stages. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something about the Watopia Waistband and Tour de Zwift. And I'll catch you on the next ride. Bye bye.